Hi, my name is Scott Snyder. I'm a senior fellow at the Mac Institute and also the president and chief strategy officer of a fast-growing company called Mobiquity. I also have an associate adjunct position in the engineering school at Penn. So I'm a little bit of a crossbreed, which means I like to study technology from a technology standpoint and also from a business model standpoint, which is really what the Mac Institute is all about. The topic that my research has been focused around really for the last 6 years since I wrote a book called The New World of Wireless has been around how social and mobile are creating a unique disruption in marketplaces and also organizations. So the questions we've really been focused on are a couple. One is, why are mobile and social so disruptive? They've been around for a long time. What's so new and different about how these technologies are changing the marketplace and end users? The second is, what's the nature of the disruption? What are some examples of this happening in different markets and with different companies? And lastly, what can companies do about it to change their innovation model to take advantage of these new disruptions and parlay those into opportunities for themselves? So those are the big questions. To start with, why is it so different? Really, you have to go back to the launch of the iPhone, where we saw 60 million non-users of smartphones all of a sudden become smartphone users. And not only the device itself, but the whole ecosystem and App Store model really democratized innovation so that anybody with a good idea could become an innovator and turn that into an app. And really opened up a platform that allowed anybody from the medical community to financial services to retailers and consumers themselves to figure out there's a better way to do things. There's an app for that, so to speak. Some great examples out in the marketplace that we've been studying. One in healthcare is a company called WellDoc, which is now taking the app to the extreme of being almost like a prescribed pill. So it's the first app that a doctor can actually prescribe as a medication, which is pretty neat. And patients actually pay for it and payers actually reimburse it so that the app can perform at the level or even higher than the best diabetes control drug on the market. And then probably another example is Waze, which is actually a great example of bringing social, where users are actually sharing themselves as a traffic node onto a broader map so that they can see traffic information and make better decisions about what path to take and how much time it's going to take them. In fact, Waze's motto is not so much better traffic information, it's we're going to give you back time in your life. And so Waze is the embodiment of what we'd call a digital swarm. It's users working together to drive a better outcome for everyone and by sharing their information. So that's kind of an example of how mobile and social are coming together to disrupt different industries. And really, the last part is, what can companies do about this? How can they take advantage of it? So it's great that we have these upstarts like Uber and Waze popping into industries, or WellDoc coming in from the edge with fresh capital and saying they can blow up the model. But if you're an incumbent pharmaceutical company or a hospital, or you're a taxi company, or you're somebody who's in the traffic space, what do? Well, there's a couple of things. First, you have to change your orientation from an inside-out orientation to an outside-in, which means the user comes first. All the innovation starts with the user and it ends with the user. So they have to be part of your innovation process in terms of ideation. It has to involve the user from an observation standpoint and understanding how your services and products that you're thinking about, or even your app, might fit within the context of what the user's trying to do. So we always say apps have to be useful, usable, and desirable to really make an impact. And they have to solve the user's problems. So that requires understanding the user's deepest needs. And that means putting the user at the center of your innovation process. That's hard for big companies to do that are used to a centralized innovation model where they have smart people figuring out what they think the next product is. You have to take a leap of faith. All of these new initiatives around digital engagement of users on mobile and social, they're not going to have an immediate ROI in some cases. That's hard for CFOs to swallow, but it's also a case where you're going to have to take the leap and pull through the ROI, because in some cases, if you don't take the leap, your competitor will, and it will become a differentiation. So we see in the pharma space, for instance, You know, it's not just about the pill anymore, and the Mac Institute just recently did a session on Beyond the Pill. It's the pill plus the experience. It's the pill plus how do you help me manage my condition, and digital is a huge part of that. So the pharma companies that are figuring that out, that are building that experience around their therapies, are actually differentiating so that doctors and patients want to go with that medication over one that doesn't provide that. So this market is moving at 1 to 3 month increments where behaviors, devices, technologies change, and that's a hard cycle or clock speed for big companies to follow. So they're going to have to get to that cycle where they can innovate much faster than their traditional timelines to keep up with the pace of the marketplace. So those are the big things that we're identifying as important success factors in your innovation model in this new world of empowered end users.